Hi guys, we are having some fireworks somewhere if you happen to hear some noises, but it's not the point because this video is not about the fireworks. It's about self-esteem and the related topics, but almost everything is related to self-esteem. But don't worry, I don't have time to talk about everything quite like that. So, uh, did you happen to notice that in our society you cannot just be? What I mean by that is a person cannot just exist, live in our society without having to be someone. No, you can't just be if you're with a mental case and nobody expects anything from you, or if you're a kid, or if you're there's something wrong with you, they let you be. All right, you can just be. But if you're a healthy individual, if you're an adult, you're supposed to be someone. You're supposed to have sort of a list to describe yourself by, the items on that list. And unless you do that, you're kind of considered a pile of shit. Oh, that would be a good word for it. No, they use words like loser, unworthy, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, in fact, feel like that. They complain that they feel worthless, like there's no meaning to life, to their life, because uh, they they did not amount to anything, and they did not do anything of value, do not possess any valuable qualities. They're not talented, they're not rich, they're not quite beautiful, they're not too slim, or blah 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 blah. It's the whole list of things that people feel that at least some of the qualities on that list they should possess, but since they don't, it means like they failed at life. Well, that's what we're talking about when we mean self-esteem. Self-esteem is basically, or self-confidence, what I mean, because self-esteem can be, low and high, blah, blah, blah. But self-confidence means that you are confident, that you are worthy, that you're a worthy individual, that you are deserving of love and respect. And if you don't feel like that, it means you lack self-confidence for whatever reason. So, talking about the reasons. Our society is sick altogether in total, uh, because we do not let people be. Again, once a person comes to this world, which is supposed to be an exciting journey for the new little guy, uh, it's supposed to be a gift. That's what they like saying, life is a gift. But then it's only a gift until you reach some age where you're supposed to become more responsible and produce some results, start producing some results. For example, in school, when people start awaiting from you perfect marks, in school. And if you don't do that, if you cannot succeed in school, then already you start getting this attitude that, oh, you're failing, that's very bad, that's like you're worse than your classmates, that's bad. It's always this comparison with either to some standards or comparison to peers, to to other people. And it's constantly cultivated in society, this belief that you should expect a person to become something, that's like your aim in life. And if you failed, then you're out of luck, because you're gonna feel like shit all your life, because you're gonna feel as though it's true, as though uh, as though everybody else is more or less succeeding, they are worthy, they are valuable, and you are just a mistake because you didn't live up to somebody's expectations. Well, I have a problem with that. I always had a problem with that, even though I have succeeded in some areas, maybe at some times in my life, and I know how it feels when you succeed and when you don't, but uh, it just never felt right to me, this pressure that, you have to. I don't like this have to word at all. And even if I succeed in something, I don't want this to be my obligation. Because, you know what? I don't think I'm here to work at some task, and succeeding, excelling in something, this is a task. And I'm not a computer. And I have not been employed here, okay? I came here into this world. I don't know why. I don't know how comes. But I have not signed any contract that I'm gonna be trying to become, I don't know, the genius or the some pop star or whatever else. There's no such contracts with my signature that says I'm gonna bust my ass trying to become perfect at stuff and make my parents proud. Because you know what? That's like servitude. I don't like being a servant. I don't like being a slave to something, be it somebody, some person, or an idea. And when you build your life around an idea that you have to achieve this, that, or become, or I don't know, develop some talents, or own this or that, then your own desires, your own dreams, your own views on what you want from life come secondary. And what you put as the primary aim is to satisfy somebody else, even if it's virtual people, virtual somebody else, virtual authority figure, virtual judge. You like sacrificing your own life in order to live up to something. And I think that's just wasting your life. Because, you probably, even if you get some kind of recognition, you will have that feeling deep down inside that you've missed something in life. Yes, you have achieved that. Maybe your parents pat you, said, "Oh, we're so proud." And then when it will be over, you will look back and you'll think, I've missed something. I don't feel like I've really been alive. Like I've tried this life, like I've tasted it, like I've explored it, because I've been working hard towards an aim that it's not really genuinely mine, genuinely. It's been put forward by somebody else, and I've accepted it. So that was my decision, but it was not genuinely my um, aim to achieve. Um, a lot of people live like that, and they don't even notice, because it's like you live in a box and you do not even notice it's there, because it's been there from the very beginning, and you're surrounded by people who believe in the same illusion, who believe they're here and they only to predominantly to try and fit in the society, to try and make something out of themselves primarily, and their happiness only comes afterwards if they can fit it in between, in the shadow. Oh, well, what do I have today? Getting this degree, and then buying that Porsche to impress my loved one, and in between, if I can manage to be a little bit happy, that would be great. That's a sad way to live your life, and you just have to know that you don't have to build your life like that. I think a lot of tension, aggression, a lot of, well, this biblical word evil really originates from people being unhappy and being totally, most of the time, under this pressure. And people who are unhappy, who are not sure if they are, worthy individuals, they have this aggression, and they either turn this anger on themselves or outwards, on other people. And by not loving yourself, by not accepting yourself, you're not being noble. You're not being like a martyr, like a saint. You're multiplying bad stuff in the world. It's not an achievement to feel like that. And the more people we have that is in society that are satisfied, that are in harmony with themselves, that live according to their own dreams, and they don't feel pressure to to build some image around themselves. The more peaceful the society will be, the more full of joy and happiness, and that's good stuff. That would be good stuff. But for now, mostly people feel like that only when they're drunk. They feel like everything's fine with them, finally. But that's a temporary effect. That's how you should feel all the time. And that's totally achievable. It's just some work have to be done, and some beliefs that you have re-examined. And after you realize that those beliefs that you have that were making you miserable all your life, they do not have any basis in fact. They do not have a solid ground under them. That you've just accepted them at face value when you were little, and now you're suffering from them. Once you realize that, you can turn your whole life around. You can start actually living happily. Because what's the point of, keep bringing more and more people into this world and telling them you cannot be yourself. You cannot just do what you want. You cannot just pursue your own dreams. You gotta, first you gotta try and become some respectable person, and collect some achievements, or reach some career, what was that, career position, blah 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 blah. I don't know how to say that. What's the point if you're going to give somebody a life? Don't you want to just say them, I want you to be happy. I want you to explore this world. I want you to have the exciting journey. I want you to look how other people are living their lives, maybe study some literature, and then compare and maybe choose a way for yourself. You don't have to become anybody you don't want. Just find the joy in your life. Find the things that interest you, something exciting. And if you don't find it today, you will find it tomorrow. Take your time. It will come to you, because it will. And that would be such a great way to bring up kids. Of course, we have some responsibilities, we have chores to do, and we have to study at least you know, for some period of time, with some basics. But you know, uh, you know that it will not by itself make anyone happy. And there's no guarantee that when the child finishes school with all great marks, that the child will end up, or successful. Uh, that the child will be then happy and prosperous and find and the good job. And you can get a college degree and then end up with a low paid job till the end of your life. There's no guarantees in life. So um, you know, letting your kids be creative and try and find something that they are really interested in is so much better than just making them study what they hate and excel at something that they cannot stand, in the hope that someday it will be all right. They will get used to it and they will start enjoying it or something, or that the money that they will get eventually will compensate for the suffering that they're going under right now. Uh, yeah, I'm a little bit away from the topic, I guess. What's interesting is that in different times, different points in history, society had different standards, sort of different list of values that were considered to be important. You know, and if you lived in the 18th century, you would have to be this and that and that and that to be considered respectable and worthy of love and admiration. And today in 21st century is quite a different set of values or qualities that are valued in society. What remains the same is this attitude that you totally have to try and live up to that expectation. You cannot just be yourself. Neither could you be yourself in 18th century, nor can you be just yourself in 21st century. You still have to look up to some authority or to some unwritten rule and compare yourself to sort of an ideal man or woman image or role that society has put in place for you. And sorry, I believe this is madness. This is madness. There is no point in living life like that. It's boring, it's unfulfilling. When kids come to this world, they have no doubts about their worth. They totally love themselves, and later on, it's us, it's adults, who are just passing our own neuroses onto our children because, well, we don't know any better. It's not like it's a grand conspiracy of evil parents trying to mess up their kids because they're shape-shifting reptiles who want to rule the world. No, I don't think that's the case. I just think, sick people make their children sick. The same kind of indoctrination that you've experienced, you are just passing on to your children. But that's gotta stop someday. We gotta try and make it work and stop making people miserable. There's enough misery in this world as it is, and we are just adding to it. And there's no reason we should. There's one important value that I think should be timeless, that I think people should try to adhere to. Because it's really very general, it's very simplistic. It's a golden rule that's been written, BC. And that just states that you should try and avoid hurting others. And you should try, do not do unto others what you wouldn't like to be done unto yourself. And that's just it. It means live and let live. Enjoy your life, pursue your interests, pursue your own dreams and goals, but just make sure you're not hurting your neighbor, okay? Because your freedom ends where the freedom of another person begins. That's basically it. And as long as you're trying to live your life by that standard, I guess that makes you a great person. There's nothing more you owe to this world. You don't owe anything to anybody. You're free to be anything you want, anything you like, uh, and it's just important, for society to function. Otherwise, it will just collapse. It's just the way to make society work. That we gotta try and treat each other nicely, and we ourselves will be benefiting from it, because you know how much it means when sometimes someday you just go out and meet a total stranger, and that stranger can either ruin your day or a part of your day by acting rudely or in some, I don't know, abstract situation and saying some shit, sorry for my French, or the total stranger can help you in something, oh sorry, do you need help? Yeah, well, thank you very much, or goodbye. And that can make you feel so good, although it was such a small act that didn't cost anything to that person. But to you, it felt like, wow, it's good to live in a world like that, when people are nice to each other. And it sucks to live in a world where people are hostile. So just knowing that, trying to treat each other nicely as possible, because it's impossible to always be, cheerful and with this stupid and hypocritical smile on your face. Like, you love everybody around when you know you really hate them. That's not what I mean. But that's a different topic, you know. The topic of this video, I think, been more or less covered. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, I'm just gonna shut up because I'm trying to, oh no, 20 something minutes again. Okay, I'm very talkative, I can shut up when I want to, and I love myself for it. Bye.